Okay, so it says that I'm live. That's good. Um, hey everyone. So it's been a while since I've been in live. It's been a phenomenal time actually. Um, but I just wanted to just come with just some boldness and just talk about a, rather a couple of things. Um, really. Um, I don't know. um what to say. Let's see. So we're gonna talk about something really cringy a little bit, and then we're gonna go on to just plainly simply the relationship with God, basically, and what it might look like, what it should look like as a Christian to have a relationship with God. And another thing, being an ambassador for God is another thing, which is really cringy. Not cringy, but it's really, really difficult. But so we're gonna talk about a couple of things. Firstly, we're gonna beginning with the cringy one to get that out of the way, because it should be addressed completely. Yeah. So the cringy thing is that um basically men are hot, and I think men basically are hot. They're the most good-looking men. They're the most good. We have in this time the most good-looking men on the planet, basically, and you might say, why is that cringy? Well, the cringy part is that society now today are requesting this new thought of how to socialize with people in a way that they can choose whatever they want to be, whatever gender they want to be. So that comes with the cringy part. Um, the thing is that in the beginning, God created man and a woman. He didn't create a man and a binary whatever's in an extra gender thing or a dip of homos running around. No, he did not create those. No, no. That's all about society. Um, and God didn't create that. He didn't create that. Sorry, it's just they don't know that I'm doing this. I live with my parents, and so they don't know that I'm doing this. And so recently, actually, I had a dream that one of my own siblings was messing up with these kind of thoughts, and I'm like thinking to myself, why would why would you ever think that way? For example, they were actually was about to kiss another woman, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. And then me as a phlebotomist, which I haven't gone into the field yet, but we know that we mostly, we test for quite different things, and one of the things that we test for is, give me a second, is HIV, right? HIV. And so in that matter, she got positive, and most people that are victims of this stuff are people that are weirdos, creepers. I call them creepers because they don't know what their minds is going and stuff. And usually people that are like that are not really loved. So and it was just a picture, and then she said, um, I had to imitate her. I usually imitate this young lady that I had a dream about. Um, um, mm, oh, it's just a moment, and I said something like that, like I repeated her, and yeah, it's just a moment, and stuff, and Mike, you still shouldn't do that, person I'm imitating, sibling, and well, that happened, and I was very, very concerned. So yesterday, I was just like really nervous because that person lives with me, and she's out there in Colombia doing her own thing and actually preaching away, and I'm like about intimacy with God, and I'm like, what in the world? So I was a bit terrified, but my story of the side of the story of how I began to like guys is the first guy that I ever liked, ever, and this is true story, was Kevin Sorbo. Uh, I I actually watched him in Hercules, um, Legends of Hercules, yes, and I saw those buff, you know, really nice glazed, um, kissable, grabbable arms, and those eyes is just flashing away, those blue eyes, and with that hair, oosh, with me too. So I that's when I started liking guys, and ever since that time, I never liked the same gender. Like for example, like I never did, ever, but people think, even in my family, think I do, and I'm like, what the frick are you thinking about? Are you cray cray? Okay, are you going crazy right now? Um, because I mean, once I see that man, I'm like, whoa, and that was like when I was like really young, like I was about 5 or 4 or 6, give or take, and um basically I saw him, I was like, I like men, and it was the final thing, you know and that's when I was little, and I never thought of anything like that. It's just very uncomfortable to see, um you know the same the two people of the same do, because it's very uncomfortable for me. I'm like, what the frick is that? I always like almost scream like when I see that, and especially Netflix nowadays. Woo. It's a lot of those. They're coming out of nowhere. um, so that's what I think. That's literally what I have experienced. And nowadays, though, I still like Kevin Sorbo. Yeah. Yes, he's rather a little bit older. And looks a little bit older, and doesn't have the nice grabbable arms. But boy, oh boy, those eyes are still in there. They're flashing away every time. So, yes, I do have an attraction to Kevin Sorbo. Still nowadays, maybe nowadays. Well, I came back to liking him after not God's Not Dead, because that was a really bad character of him to play with. Although I'm really jealous of the girl that actually played the girl that dated him. But anyway, I saw him again. Where do I see him? Where did I see him? Um, how did it begin again? That's actually a really good point there. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess something like I can't turn Hercules again, and I was like, hey, oh, so I put those two ones together, and I saw that he was from. I mean, because I did see that he was extremely handsome, like, but I was like, what is this? What is this character talking about? And God's Not Dead. And so I was really sad when his character died the second time I saw it. the second time. The first time I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really sad, but that was even sadder when I okay. Anyway, I'm like rambling. Um yeah, I mean like I don't know, how did it happen? I don't know. I just saw him again and then there was a show with called Armada. Um then I saw him again. I was like, whoa, yeah, that man is good looking. By the way, I'm gonna just stop with this section of the time, but just so you know, before he married Sam, I saw him first. So if Sam says, "Oh, he's my boyfriend and my husband and stuff," well, uh, I saw him first. So yeah. Um, Put that in your little calculator, whatever. Write that in your little books. Because I saw him first, so basically that would be like he should have been my boyfriend. But you know how things are. You know how things are. But anyway, um, I do like him. So that's the man that I'm sticking with. And that's just kidding. No, I do like other men actually. A lot of men out in the world, and I do like them quite a lot, and as well as Kevin Sorbo. Um, and in one of the adventures of my life, I've experienced that there's one gentleman that I lost from the pack. I don't know. I don't know. I went all the way to Los Angeles to see him, and oh shoot. And he was, didn't meet me. So, and then next thing you know, his shows canceled, his shows ended, and he needs new projects. So now he's doing a really bad project at the moment. So, a project that does not relate to my relationship with God, my religion, and my relationship with God. So yeah, it was sad because I do like Korean men and I do like Americans, and he was both, and so yeah, and I loved that man so much. So we'll see what God says. We'll see. But he's a very good looking man. So I lost him to the other side. hmm But anyway, the relationship with God, how it looks like. So you guys already got why? Yeah. Okay. Great. Um, the relationship between God and a human being, how it should look like the Garden of Eden, basically, between Adam and God before Eve came along. There was a relationship and a connection, and then God didn't want the man to be alone. So, and this is relating to the other topic as well. So it's all connecting. So he didn't want the man to be alone, but yeah, there was the relationship, right? The relationship was there. The relationship was there, right? And between them. And so before one needs to get married, before that, one has to do a couple of things. Like, one of the things that has to happen is to have a really real relationship with God. Because you never know where the relationship with another person might take you to. Just like it took Adam to, and he blamed it on the woman, yet he did the same thing. Naughty, naughty. So, I have fallen into temptation for lustful temptation with only men and only men. Just to get that out there. And so just to search for the right guy, and that didn't work out. And so I just focused on the guys that I like, that I could know, like Kevin Sorbo. And I think everyone in the world knows that I like Kevin Sorbo. And yeah. So other guys that I like, other men, yeah, as well too, that I cannot say. But in another point, the relationship between man and God is like those times with Adam and God together. God gave Adam the permission to name all the animals before Eve ever came into the picture. He gave Adam the authority to do that. And so, as you can see, there was already a relationship, there was a trust that was happening between Adam and Eve. I mean, between Adam and God. And this all happened before Eve came into the picture. All of it. All of it. And so Adam had to experience the perfect garden before the woman came into plan. Now, I'm not saying, because I'm okay, you can tell that I am, but I'm not saying that we're bad in nature like women are. We're not. We all have fallen, men and women, right? Because Eve didn't do that alone. Okay, Adam also sinned. So there you go. But we also see in the Torah and beyond the Torah that there was between the greats, we call it the greats, the relationship with God, even though Adam and Eve sinned afterwards, there was still people on earth that were willing to have a relationship with the sovereign God, the majestic being. Just think about that. Yeah. So I also today wanted to share with you guys my ancestors. Now that I'm thinking about Moses and Abraham, I'm like thinking about my my inheritance. My heritage. So let me. So and that would be a lot of things, and I'm a lot of things. A lot of maybe a lot of mixes of a lot of countries. So, and yes, I am Jewish. Very Jewish. liturgical wise and spiritual wise. So double whammy. You guys will see it in a little bit. But so I always look at the relationships that Abraham had, and the relationships that Joseph had, and all of these great folks back in the Torah and Moses had. And I see what to do and what not to do with God. See, not a lot of people use the Bible to explain this kind of stuff. I use the Bible. And it looks like it's really great stuff that I could actually teach about. Rather than taking things out and stuff to make your own fleshly point. And yes, they all had just a tad of.
Would you like some ahipok?
Huh?
Ahipok.
Huh?
Que si quieres algo, una cosa que dice, es que te mandé la foto.
Mamita, I'm a little bit busy. Can you come back later?
Ahipok. ¿Lo quieres o no lo quieres? Porque no lo de tu papá todo.
The book.
Es una tuna con tuna cruda.
Oh, ají. Oh, like the yes, please.
Okay.
But it's spicy? Okay.
Okay, I will bring some.
Thank you. So, as you can see, yep. Basically, I'm gonna probably edit that out. Oh, God. That's the relationship, and sometimes having a relationship with God is grueling, painful, and he never fails us, though, does he? No. And then we can see that he never does. We can see that he never does when we see the examples of stuff. And sometimes I get into the habit of bargaining with God. What do I mean by that? Bargaining with God is that I see an example in the Bible, like for example Moses or Abraham, and I'm like, God, but you treated this person like this, and you treated that person like. I'm not hurrying home. I'm doing a video, Uma.
Oh.
But thank you. Okay. So not even my chopsticks. Just trying to act, by the way. Just acting. She knows I cannot resist that. I can't. So she usually doesn't do this. It's surprising to me. I usually cook for my own stuff, but that's really good. That's actually really good. So that's what. So I always say to God, but you did this to that person, you did that to that person. What about me? Aren't I like Moses? Aren't I like Abraham? Aren't I, And obviously, these people didn't have devices like we do. So the whole entire society was completely different. Okay. They didn't have policemen. They didn't have a police station. they had God. They had God. I have to do another video about actually jail and stuff. How I think that jail is actually really bad idea for people, because usually people come in and out of jail like back and forth, and they don't even change. Jail is supposed to be a place where you put a person in there and they come out. It's different. And however, how many years you give that person, they come out and they're still the same. They're still the same. And I met so many people like that they have told me, because I hang around back in the day with homeless people, and they said that I've been out of jail back and forth, and it didn't help whatsoever. But anyway, um, so I don't agree with that system whatsoever, and I do think that in a way, for United States having police, um, give me a second, police stuff, police stations. In a way, for them to have police stations, is actually part of communism. So basically, people think that America is free. America is not free. We have jail. That's communist. That's communist, because they put people in jail, and just like the communists put people in labor camps, they have labor stuff too. They have labor stuff. It's really awful what they do in jail, and plus you can do whatever you want to a person if you are capable of fighting with that person and stuff. And so it's awful. You know, there is a country though in Europe. Oh God, uh, Denmark, I think, that doesn't do actually that. They actually, give the time of the lock-in, and then they give the person a purpose, a plan and stuff, and that's what they do with these folks, and that's what I think it should happen in America. But no, people are way too lazy. They want taxes, and they want taxes to people that don't deserve the rewards of taxes, except for the military. The military definitely deserves the taxes, because they're fighting for it, so obviously. And doctors, now salaries, there is a boundary on salaries. If salaries, people should minimize the amount of payments for celebrities. And you know what I think about Charlie? I'm sorry. That's what I think about sometimes. Used to. But yeah, have God. You know, people say, "Oh my God, is it intimate relationship?" No, 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 no. Before you get into those intimate relationships, you gotta have the basics down: prayer, Bible, worship. You're done. You're good. You are good. You know, and that's the basics, and that's basically what God requires you to have with Him, and that's when you do the basics, you have an intimates. Yeah, and so that's why bargaining um times are not really good, because we're all different. Obviously our lives are a little bit similar to people in the Bible, and they have gone through similar situations, which is great. But we should look at stories in a way such, and I'm speaking to myself in here, with a way that do and don't. do what they did. Like Isaac. No, wait, Abraham with Isaac. Boy, oh boy, was that a test? Was that a test? But God was foreshadowing the other stuff. So sorry, this just looking at this is so delicious. Mm-hmm. Mm. So I think I should have done just the video thing. That's just yeah. One more question for all of you guys. How do you see yourself in the spiritual world? How? And that's what I wanted to ask before I show you guys the inheritance. My inheritance, my heritage. Wait, there was more Pokey here. Anyway, let's see here. One second. I did, though, actually save it. Give me a second. So I'm going to show you guys basically how it looks like. There you are. I don't know why he logs me out all the time. Oh, I got a little scene. View the list, yes. No. Ugh. Just give me a second. I gotta find this ancestry thing. Oh. Yep. There we are. So here we have Southern European. Yeah. Southern European. Spanish and Portuguese. Italian, Italiano. Borderline Southern European. What the fridge? Ashkenazi, which is really a weird name. Jewish. Ashkenazi Jew. You know, right there. Right here. Ashkenazi Jew, yeah. Northwestern European 0.3, borderline European 0.6, East Asian, oh, at least I'm Asian. East Asian, Indonesian American, Sub-Saharan African, West African, Nigerian, Kenyan, Liberian, Syria, Leonin, Israel. Here. I am proud. And it's really weird because like the time that I found about this, they were having a celebration of Black History Month. Borderline West African. Let's see, wait. West African is 1.5. More than Jewish, but Nigerian is 0.7. I thought it was 0.9. North African 0.9. Arab, Egyptian, Lebanese, Lebanantine, which is Coptic, Egyptian, borderline Western Asian, and North African. But recent ancestors in America, South American, Bogota, Colombian. Obviously, we all know that. And yeah. So basically, I am more Spanish as well, Southern European, and the East Asian Indigenous American, which is Indigenous is American, is 28.7. Together is 29.4, with borderly East Asian Indigenous American. And yep, that's basically it. Sub-Saharan African is 2.4. So basically that's all of it here. And that's what I am. I got the 23andMe ancestry thing. And it turns out that I'm African and Spanish and Jewish. I am very happy with that Jewish. I'm a little bit sad but yet happy about the Spaniard part. But hey, you know what? What are you gonna do? So that's why I look European and a little Middle Eastern, because I am. And that's where this whole beauty comes from. So that's all about me. That's all for me, I think. I would actually know how to preach, but I decided not to be a pastor. So because that God actually judges you more when you're a pastor. So yeah. So yeah. So what do you guys think about my haircut, which I got a while back? But yeah. That's basically it. Mm. Oh, one of the things also about Kevin Sorbo that was actually attractive, extremely attractive, other than his looks, was his relationship with God. And yeah, which I like. I like it because he's a very strong Christian, and I quite like that. He is for the president that I am for, President Trump. A great supporter. So we do. Wait a second. How is that 6% and before it was 10%? That's weird. Just weird. Alrighty. Well, yeah. But shalom, everyone. Bye.